Welcome back to another video. I'm Amy, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the practice of yoga, giving you a little introduction to yoga, and telling you a little bit about my personal journey. Namaste everyone. So nice to see you all. We have a very cozy day here in England with the fire on. So I'd like to talk to you today about how yoga has really impacted my life and how I think it would be beneficial in yours. I started practicing yoga when I was about 21 after being a very serious athlete for most of my life, a swimmer. And for me, exercise and physical movement always involved a lot of stress and pain and pushing and trying to get better and trying to get stronger and trying. And then it was really interesting because I had this very minor car accident when I was 21, and all of a sudden it felt like all of the pain and the pressure and the stress from all of these years was dumped out into my system, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I couldn't push through. So I had to start looking and exploring what was happening in my body and getting to know my body. I've become so detached from it. I couldn't check in and scan and see how I was feeling or be in any way compassionate with my body, because I was so used to just detaching from it so that I can push. When I first started practicing yoga though, actually, I wasn't anywhere near the standard or the level, let's just say the level that I'm at today, because I still attacked it like an athlete. I've got to touch my toes, I've got to be able to lift myself, I've got to push, and it really limited the benefits that I could receive from the practice. So I'd really like to help you and teach you what I've learned of how to get the most out of the practice of yoga. So we're going to start right here with the breath. So most people, when they think of yoga, they think of stretching. Isn't yoga just stretching? Well, yes, in a way, but it's stretching consciously and mindfully using the breath. So really, the fundamental aspect of yoga is the breath. And let's talk about maybe the science behind that before we get into anything spiritual. If we think about what is connecting us to life in this moment, the only thing that we need right now in this moment to connect us, our physical body, to life is our breath. So really that's the only thing that we need to do in order to be present and mindful in the moment, is simply breathe, and it immediately centers us and connects us with the body. Everyone just take a slow, conscious breath. So inhale all the way into the chest. And exhale. So simply by using the breath, we can center and calm the mind and the body and the spirit. Taking it a little bit deeper, for me, all of the years of pushing and trying and stress and trauma had built up in my physical body. And if we look at what happens to our body during times of stress, we tense up. Right? Our muscles are tense, our shoulders are hunched, we're storing tension here, we're clenching the stomach, we're not breathing properly, so we're storing tension here as well. A lot of trauma, we're clenching everything in and bracing ourselves for the next, let's say, attack. It's the evolutionary mechanism that we've developed by now. We're bracing ourselves. We've got to be ready. We've got to survive. We're focused on survival in times of stress. So we're detached from the moment, from our body, because we're so focused on just getting through whatever it is, the difficulty that we're faced with. So this stress and tension and trauma gets locked into our muscles. So they remember it, they store it. And over the years, this is built up to the point where by the time you're around your late 20s, 30s, a little older, you might start to feel some tension in the body, stiffness when you wake up, back pain, neck pain, headaches, tension in the shoulders, maybe some persistent physical complaints. And I believe, from my perspective, that this is a result of all of the stress that we've been storing over the years, all the times that we've braced ourselves during those difficult moments. So the body remembers it. So how can we release that? How can we center ourselves, journey into the body, and start to undo some of this tension that we've wound up over the years? Well, as we were just discovering there, the most simple and effective way that we can start to explore the body is with the breath. If we notice that when we are rushing around or having a difficult day or facing any sort of challenge in our day, what we tend to do is clench our stomachs in, hold our breath, and we're breathing from about here. So what we're going to practice first of all, before we get into any yoga practice, is how to consciously breathe and mindfully breathe, and to breathe most efficiently. So if you place your hands on your belly here, feel the weight of the hands on the belly. And on the inhale, allow the belly to expand with air to the fullest point. Move into the chest, allow the chest to expand with air, opening up the shoulders and the heart. Hold for 1 or 2 seconds, and then let everything go, release. Keep breathing like this, and notice the calming effect this has on the body. Notice how your shoulders start to soften, how you start to let go of what you've been holding onto here and in your lower back, and simply become more present and mindful in the moment. Place your palms on your knees, facing up, allowing the shoulders to open. Take a full inhale. And exhale through the nose each time. So the reason that we encourage breathing through the nose, if possible, in yoga, and really all the time, is because actually it's the most efficient way to breathe. As you breathe through the nose, the oxygen, the air is warmed as it enters the body, and it allows for it to be more efficiently exchanged in the lungs. It also has all of the hairs in your nose that allow you to trap the dirt, catch all of the bacteria and dirt, and stop you from becoming poorly. So it's filtering the air as well. So the most efficient way to breathe in yoga is through the nose like this, and slightly constricting the throat, just so that it would make the same sound as if you were deep sleeping. Sounds a little bit like the ocean. It's actually called Ujjayi breathing, so ocean breath. Just give it a try. So this is distributing the air, the oxygen around the body more efficiently. This is going to be allowing the muscles, inviting them to lengthen and open and mobilize. We need to send as much oxygen around the body to fully circulate through all of the muscles in order to start to undo some of that stress and trauma and tension that we were just talking about. So a lot of you may be here to start to learn about yoga, to increase your flexibility. Maybe you just want to be able to touch your toes. Now, the reason that I'm spending so much time on the breath is that if we can learn to breathe properly, while moving our body. All of the movements and all of the flexibility and even the strength too. So when we start to move faster in yoga, so power yoga, we can actually use yoga to strengthen and increase fitness. It will distribute the energy much more efficiently so that you will be able to do much more than you ever could have imagined. So we're going to just demonstrate this for a moment with a simple forward fold. We're going to sit nice and straight with the legs out straight in front of you. Straighten the legs, but don't lock the knees. And point the toes back towards your head. Now, for those of you who just wanted to jump straight to the forward fold, touch your toes. I don't want to disappoint you, but actually, we don't really need to fully fold forward in order to be able to stretch the hamstrings. This stretches all the way along the back of the legs, and when we fold forward, it starts to stretch into the lower and mid back too. Finally, when we can relax all the way down, we're starting to open up the upper back as well. This is one of the most fundamental poses in yoga. So sit with your palms by your side. Allow the shoulders to soften. If you're holding on to any tension in the shoulders, just allow them to consciously drop, let go. Back is comfortably straight, so don't brace yourself sitting up like a soldier. Just comfortably straight through the spine. Your chin is very slightly tucked back. This allows length in the neck. I'm going to just sit and hold this for a moment and enjoy this posture. Toes are pointing back towards your head. Now notice when you do, if you release and point them the other way, it's taking the pressure off the back of the legs. Just start to become mindful of your own body and how it feels as you're moving. Stay connected, stay breathing. Point the toes all the way back and notice how this applies some pressure up through the backs of the legs. So bring your palms by your side. We're going to take an inhale. Deep inhale, which lengthens the back and opens the chest before we fold down on the exhale. So exhale, start to walk your palms forward towards your feet. Now, if you notice, I'm not dumping the back down like this. If you just see for yourself, if you fold forward and curve the spine like this, notice the pressure in your legs. Okay? Then try the other way. Shoulders back, chest open, back nice and straight, and fold forward. Notice how there's much more pressure in the legs. I don't even need to fold all the way down in order to feel this stretch. So make sure at all times we're not compromising the back. We're keeping a nice straight back when it's required. So inhale, shoulders back, chest open, look up, and exhale, walk forward, just to the point where you feel pressure in the back of the legs, but no sharp pain. At no point in yoga should you be feeling sharp pain. What will happen then is you'll be adding more tension into the muscles, and it will actually be taking you the opposite direction to where you want to go, to increase your mobility, to increase your flexibility, to increase relaxation. So absolutely 100% of the time, stay connected with the body and make sure you're not compromising for the sake of being able to touch your toes. Okay, I see this so very often. People measure their flexibility on whether or not they can touch the toes. So I'm going to tense up and I'm going to reach and pull myself to my toes. Okay? You might do this in a fitness class. You shouldn't, but you might. But not in yoga. Okay? So we need to make this promise. I will stay connected with my body. I will stay compassionate to my body. Because when we're compassionate with our body, we can get it to do amazing things. So, one more time. Shoulders back. Inhale, chest open. And exhale, walk forward to the furthest point. Toes stay pointing back because that's going to keep the pressure in the back of the legs. And forward. Now, only at the final point, allow the head to drop down. And stay in the pose. Breathing and consciously imagining that you're sending the breath through the back of the legs, up into the lower back and the upper back. Just allowing the muscles, inviting them to open and relax. Slow, deep breathing through the nose, just like we talked about at the beginning. Notice with every breath, if you're breathing consciously and mindfully, the muscles will be relaxing a little bit more, allowing you to sink a little bit deeper into the pose. If at any point during any of the practice you start to feel yourself tensing up, I invite you to back off, come back to your breath. You're not going to be doing yourself any favors. And then restart. Inhale and exhale. Slow, mindful breathing. And slowly come back. So, I hope you enjoyed this introduction to yoga. I hope you found this video beneficial. I'm going to be posting regular videos on yoga, mindset, and to be able to help you, empower you to change your life, to feel more connected with your body, to allow your energy to be channeled more easily, to be able to listen to your heart and set your intentions for the life that you deserve. So remember to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Lots of love. Namaste.